What is up guys, it's James from FishStakes and we're back on Flight Sim for another video. Now, before I jump into this, I just want to say please remember to like, comment and subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. It helps us keep bringing them out to you guys on the channel and we really appreciate all of the support. But with that out the way, let's get into today's video. What we're doing today is we're going over how to set up custom camera angles on the console. So this is something you can do on PC quite easily within the game files. Obviously on console you don't have access to that, but there is a workaround and that's what I'm going to discuss today. So the first thing we need to do is get our controller set up and compatible in order to do this. So first thing we're going to do is come over to our options tab and we're going to come down to controls options. In controls options, what you want to do is come to the search by name section here and we're just going to type in custom camera. Once you type in custom camera, you'll see all of these options come up here. Now, the first thing I want to stress is if you are a console gamer but you play with the keyboard and mouse, then you can take advantage of all of these camera slots from 0 to 9, so you can have 10 different custom camera angles saved, which is obviously brilliant because you can just hotkey them to all 10 different keys. Obviously, on controller, you've got a lot less options, so there's going to be a lot less cameras. But we are going to do this on controller because I'm aware that most console players will be playing with a controller, so I want to go over that. It is possible to have at least 4 custom cameras saved on controller, which I think is a fair amount, so that's what we're going to do today. Now, as you can see, I've already set up 3 of my custom controllers, 1, 2 and 3, and the inputs I'm using to save a custom camera is both bumpers and then all of the face buttons, so Y, X, A, and eventually I'll do B. That's to save them, and then the corresponding buttons in order to load those cameras up is both bumpers and then up, left, down, right on the D-pad. So as you can see, I've already set up the first 3, so I'm going to go over number 4 for you guys now so you know exactly how to do it. So we're going to come up to our save custom camera. The one face button we've not used yet is B, so that's what this one's going to be. So hit A on save custom camera 4, come over to, well, if there is a current input you can clear it, there isn't, so we're just going to go straight to start scanning, then we're going to hold both bumpers and hit B. The reason I'm doing these inputs is because nothing else uses them, so it won't get in the way of anything else whilst we're flying. So then you just hit validate and that's done. Now we just need to set up the load hotkey for that camera, so we come down to load custom camera 4, start scanning, and that'll be both bumpers and right on the D-pad, and then we'll hit validate. So to keep it simple, obviously Y will be up, X will be left, A will be down and B will be right, so they correspond face buttons to D-pad buttons. And that's it. With that done, we're ready to go and actually set up these custom cameras now, so you can jump into your game, jump into whatever plane you want. This works with absolutely any plane, so you pick yourself, apply and save that setting of course, and dive into the game. Okay guys, here we are in the game. I'm sat on the runway. I'm in the A320, but obviously, as I said, you can do this in absolutely any plane, big or small, you want. So the first thing to understand is how to actually move the camera yourself. What you do for that is you hold left bumper and then you can use your thumbsticks to move around the cockpit in any fashion you want. Right trigger goes up, left trigger goes down. If you need any more instruction on that, there is a video linked in the description that will detail that for you. But that's the basics. You need to know that in order to set your camera angles up. As you can see, that allows you to move around in this cockpit wherever we want and set up custom camera angles. You might want them on certain instruments or whatever, but that's not really what we're here for today. We want to get custom cameras outside of the plane in really cool locations. The first thing you need to be aware of is the glitch to actually get us outside of the plane. So if we hit our right stick, that'll reset us to our default position as the pilot. Now we're going to come up to our camera settings, come down here to where it says pilot, open the drop down and select co-pilot, and that moves us over now to the right side of the plane. What we're going to do is, let's get this out of the way for a second, we're going to hold our left bumper and move ourselves all the way to the left, as far left as we can get, jam ourselves right into this window, and now bring up our camera selection again, select pilot, and this time select pilot, and it should push us outside of the plane. There we go, perfect. And that is the glitch done. Now we can start setting up our camera angles. So one thing I recommend is to immediately save this. We can move it in a second, but we want to save ourselves outside of the plane. So We're going to start with Y, so we're going to hold both bumpers. We're going to press Y. That's saved. Now if we press the right stick, we return to default position. If we press both bumpers and push up on the D-pad, we move back outside the plane. So now we can begin to set up our custom cameras. What we're going to do is hold left bumper, and we can begin to move about the plane. So one thing I know a lot of people like to do is get this view of the wing, the engine, and then what will be the landscape below. So I'm going to line us up sort of window level here. Looking down, we've got the engine, we've got the wing there. I think that'll be a pretty nice angle. If I angle it towards the left, we can also see the length of the plane there in the peripheral. So I think that's going to be pretty good. That'll be our first camera angle. So we, again, are going to hold both bumpers and hit Y in order to save that. Then we can hit our right stick to return back to neutral position. Again, now if we hold both bumpers and push up on the D-pad, we come back here outside of the plane, and we can now go and set up our second camera angle. So for camera angle number 2, here's a little trick that I like to use. Again, if we hold left bumper and then we move ourselves inside the plane, we can clip through the plane. And one really cool area, again, the movement is pretty slow, but it's worth it to get your camera angle set up. There is a little small section of the plane here that's actually fleshed out, and we've got ourselves a window that we can place ourselves in and get a really cool sort of passenger style view of what's going on. Now, I think this is probably the best angle in terms of landscape, but it is kind of nice to see the wing of the plane. So I'm going to go for a sort of angle kind of like this. Again, don't forget, you've got your right trigger to go up and your left trigger to go down. So I think I'm going to go for something like this, where I can see the wing, but I can get in a decent bit of the landscape as well. So for this one, I'm going to hold both bumpers, and I'm going to choose X as my save input. And then I'm going to hit the right stick to return to the pilot position. Now, just to test that those have worked, if we hold both bumpers, push up on the D-pad, we go to the wing, and if we push left on the D-pad, we go to the passenger side window. So, again, if you want to go down to the wing, you'll push up on the D-pad, and from here, I'm going to set up our next camera angle. So, again, I'm going to hold the left bumper. I'm going to turn this way this time, and I'm going to use the left trigger to move down underneath the plane, because another angle people really like is the angle from underneath the plane. You've got the wheels. This one looks great if you're coming in for a landing, but it's also just a decent view whilst you're flying as well. I like to pull myself a little bit back so I can see, you know, the body of the plane as well as the wheels. So we don't want to be clipping through the roof there. We'll go for something like this. I think will be pretty nice. And we'll move forward a bit, get that fin out the way. I think this should do quite nicely. So we'll hold both bumpers for this one. I'm only going to go with A for this one. That saves our selection. Now we'll return with the right stick to default position. And again, test those are working. Both bumpers. We go up. We're at the wing. Left, passenger side. Down, underneath the plane. Now we've only got one more to set up. Okay, so to get over to the right side of the plane, if you want to set some angles up over there, we're going to do the same thing, but in reverse. So we're already in the pilot seat. So what we'll do is move all the way over to the right side of the plane. Bring up our camera. And head to the co-pilot, which pushes us out of the plane. Then we're going to close this menu. We're going to hold both bumpers and save this camera as B. Then we're going to hit our right stick to return to neutral position. Then we're going to hit both bumpers and right on the D-pad to get back outside. At which point, we can begin setting up our camera angle for the right side of the plane. So we can do the same things. We could come here and get this wing angle, or there is also another cheeky little passenger window. Not like this one because it's right above the wing. So I am going to go at the passenger window on this right side. Again, if you're on PC, you've got many options to set up a lot of these. But this is my last one on controller. I'm sure there are other configurations on the controller where you could add even more camera angles too. If you can figure anything out that the game isn't already using, do let me know in the comments and I'll add them to my own planes as well. But this is the view that I'm going to go for. Nice wing view here, and we've also got the landscape. So I'm going to save this one now, both bumpers and B. We'll save that. And then we'll hit the right stick to return to our neutral position here as the pilot. Now, just to check all of those are worked, what you're going to do is you're going to hold both bumpers. We're going to hit up. We're at the wing, left, passenger view, down, underneath the plane, and then right, we are passenger view on the right side, and then we just hit our stick to return to our pilot's position. Now, all of those views will work once we're up in the air and we're flying. It's best used when you're in autopilot because you can let the plane take care of the flight and you can just enjoy the views from your new camera angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get myself in the air and show you guys what these views look like. But that is pretty much the glitch. Get that set up and you're good to go. Okay guys, as you can see, we're up in the air. It seems to be a little cloudy over Italy today, which is not great for this demonstration, but nevertheless, we're going to check out these camera angles that we've set up. So we're going to hold both bumpers and we're going to hit up for our wing side view. Now, if you let go of both bumpers once you're here, you can use the thumbstick to move about and get some views of the landscape as you're flying by. So it's a really, really cool option to have these custom cameras. Again, if we hold both bumpers and we hit left, we're going to come to our passenger side window. Now you can get a real view of what it would be like to be a passenger on your flight, which I think is really awesome. I love these views so much. You got the wing in the shot there, and you can see the landscape below as well. And you've still got that internal sound of the aircraft as well, which I really like. It just gives you that feel like you really are a passenger on the plane. So we hold both again, and we're going to hit down this time, and we are now underneath the plane. You might remember we set this one up to get a cool shot of any landings that may be happening, but as always, we can move the thumbstick about to get some good views and good angles as we fly. One thing I'd like to point out is the reflection there on the bottom of the plane. I think that's a really cool detail that Microsoft have put into the game. So we're going to hold both bumpers again, and this time we're going to hit the right bumper, and we come up to the right side passenger window. These guys aren't seeing much at the moment, just a lot of water and a lot of clouds. But nevertheless, this is a really cool camera angle. We can see the engine just here. We've got the wing. Love this one. So again, if you want to return to the pilot for any reason, you just push down on your right thumbstick and that will take you straight back to your pilot seat. Hold your bumper and you can scroll through with the D-pad the camera angles that you've set up. And that is pretty much it, guys. If you've learned anything from this video, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe on the video, and let me know in the comments if you've got any camera angles that I haven't done here, what camera angles you recommend, what are your favorites, anything like that, and if you've got any new hotkeys that I could use to set up even more camera angles. One thing I'm going to try before I go is be a bit cheeky here, and I'm going to drop down underneath the plane. I'm going to lower the landing gear while I'm here just to see what it looks like, because I've never actually done it before. Okay, I must admit that's pretty cool. I was unsure how well they would animate it, especially because you're probably not really supposed to be here underneath the plane. That was pretty cool, I gotta say. So as you can imagine, if you're coming in for a landing, you've got it on ILS, you don't really need to take too much control over the landing yourself. You could get down here and get that really cool view of the landing gear coming down and then hitting the runway. Be super, super cool, I think. So I'm gonna just take that up again just for the hell of it, because it's fun. That's pretty cool, right? That is pretty cool. Okay, so that about does it for this video. Cheers for watching, guys. If there's anything else you'd like to see on Flight Sim, do let us know in the comments, and thank you for all of your support so far. That is it from me, Matt Dunnett.